Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Angela.
And we are the Maydecember Society. Welcome to another
exciting video. Today we're going to talk about an issue that is kind of a sensitive one for a lot of age gap couples, and seemingly a sensitive one for people who are not in age gap relationships who like to pass judgment. The topic today is children.
Ah, lovely children.
This is just a general video about having children in an age gap relationship. I also want to add that because this is an older man and a younger woman relationship, that's pretty much the perspective that this video is for, because that's my experience, though some of it's general. So the first criticism that I hear a lot is that it's selfish. It's selfish to have a child when one or even both parents are older. I don't agree with that at all. I really think it's kind of ridiculous. The assumption is that they're not going to have that parent for their life.
Which is understandable when someone says that. However, a father who's 35 could last not as long perhaps as someone in their 60s or 70s.
You really don't know what can happen. Someone can die in their 50s, someone can die in their 20s. And it also doesn't really make a lot of sense. Now say a parent is, maybe the father is 50 and they have a child when they're 50 years old. That child is going to be 30 and the parent is probably going to be still alive at 80 years old. So when you're 30, you're already out on your own usually, you have your own life. The parent was around for those formative years, all through their teenage years. Disregarding all health issues and everything like that, a parent could be still alive when the child is well into their 30s, or even 40s for that matter.
Yes, today people live much longer. I think men live into their 80s now, and it was back in the 50s they lived around 68 or something like that. So, I mean, that's the average. Chances are the parent would be around, certainly for the formative years. When you're 30, you could, well, have already provided him with grandchildren.
And I think there are actually some benefits to having an older parent. They have the experience or they have the financial stability because they are further along in their life. So the child could be much better off.
Certainly they're going to gain a lot of wisdom, more from the older parent, whether it's the man or the woman. That someone younger, maybe in their 20s, 30s, may not have experience.
There's also another concern that, well, maybe the dad's around, but he can't do some of the things that other dads can do. He's slowed down in his old age.
You're still going to be able to do things. You can still play ball and coach and help and do those things. And besides, you're giving moral support. And they make it sound like things are over for you. You have no life left. And if you had a child, you wouldn't be able to do anything to their benefit, which is all totally wrong.
Yeah, I mean, they act like just because someone's 60 years old, it means they're like, they're like walking around on their walker, they can barely move or something, when there's like bodybuilders in their 80s. It really depends on the health of a person. It has nothing to do with your age. They have some kind of bizarre image of an older person thinking the moment that he ages like 5 years, he's just going to be this decrepit guy. I mean, well, they don't have a lot of experience with healthy older people. It doesn't make sense to me to say that you're selfish for having a child because of this reason. I believe that a child would much rather have a life than not at all, just because you thought that a guy is going to be too old to play with them. I mean, seriously? Now, another thing that some people might have concern with is that the child is going to be made fun of because of his older parent. Okay, well, that is just crazy. Kids are gonna make fun of other kids no matter what. If he didn't have the older parent, they'd be making fun of him for the way he walked or the way he looked. It's crazy to say, I shouldn't have a child because some kid's gonna say, haha, your dad's old. I mean, really?
No.
There are so many other things to be concerned with in life, and that is what people are bothered by. They're bothered by the fact that the kid is going to be made fun of. Kids are going to be made fun of no matter what.
What is the deal with that? I don't understand. People really think you shouldn't have kids because they'll make fun of the father?
Yeah.
That's a reason. Okay. I guess I haven't been keeping up.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
People also question, well, what about fertility? when you get older, you become less fertile, or there's less quality sperm as you age. Fertility, say if the woman is older, of course, unfortunately, there is kind of a time limit. But other than that, a man can stay fertile until he's 120 years old.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure.
I've read several articles on this that say perhaps there's a higher chance for genetic issues. But then I read that it actually is so minute, it doesn't even matter. I mean, it's like, okay, so if you're 20 having kids, you have a 1 in 100 chance of that happening. And you're older and you want to have kids, maybe there's a 2 in 100 chance of that happening. I mean, it is so incremental. Obviously, those numbers aren't exact, but that was really the point that these articles were making, that it's so small of a chance. It's completely negligible, but if it is something that concerns you, then you can look into options such as, if you're not interested in having children right away, maybe freezing sperm, or if you're a woman, there is also the option of having an egg frozen where you can have a child later on, as long as you're healthy enough. But that can be an expense, so you'd have to look into that, really think about it. Another point I wanted to make for the younger people in the relationship: do not rush. There is no reason for you to think that, oh, my guy is 58 years old, I better start popping out kids right now because I really want him to be around for them. That's crazy. That's crazy. You have to wait until you are ready. You have to wait until both people are ready, of course. But do not think that because he's older and you're younger, you want to just rush out because you're afraid of him not being present in the kid's life. As we said before, that can be true of any age. So you need to make the decision when you want to make it. That shouldn't really enter your mind if you're thinking of having a child and you're not ready. Don't let that factor in. Just make the decision based on all the other factors. That can come last. Obviously, having children is a very personal decision that you and your partner have to make together. But I implore you, do not let anyone else's outside opinion influence your choice. This is your life and it's your decision. It's between you and your partner. That's it. It is not between you and your partner and the rest of the world. Forget the rest of the world.
From the older person's perspective, if they've had children before, whatever happened in their life before, these are all factors that they have to consider. So long as both sides are in agreement, great.
And if it happens so that maybe both sides don't agree, then, that's a different story. If you want kids and he doesn't want kids, or vice versa, you're gonna have to really consider, is it worth giving up your dream of having children to be with this person that you won't down the line really think, man, I wish I had kids, is that going to be a problem?
And I don't think that you get into a relationship, a Maydecember relationship, initially anyway, thinking about children. A lot of times, the relationship comes out of nowhere. I mean, it's happenstance. You meet them, and it was something that you certainly didn't expect. So children wasn't even a part of the equation. After a short period of time in the standard, or I guess the typical relationship, you might think about that and it all lines up well for you. In a May-December relationship, it doesn't.
If you feel like you're going to have a future with this person, it probably is something that you should discuss at one point before you dive in so deeply that, it becomes a very, very difficult decision to make.
As we all know, life can be short, but it can be short at any stage of our lives. Happiness is what you want to achieve. If it includes children, if it doesn't include children, you make the decision.
Okay, now I'm sure some people out there are wondering, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna have kids? Okay, we're not even married yet. Like, there's no ring on this finger. So, the future remains to be seen at this point. Now, but I will say that I've always pictured having children, but if that doesn't happen, It's whatever. I'm not really thinking too deeply about it. I'm too young right now. I mean, I know 23 is not that young, but I feel like I'm just not ready to have kids yet. It's just something, you know, we haven't completely decided yet, but...
Yeah, we haven't really discussed it. It's not in the stars for Angela right now. It's not in my stars either.
It really depends where we are in the future. No matter what choice we make, we're not going to let other people decide what's right for us in our relationship.
That's correct. Never will anyone else decide what's right for us.
So we hope that was somewhat informative.
Somewhat.
If you had any other added questions about kids, feel free to comment or send us a message. And let us know, what is your opinion? Do you think it's selfish to have children when one or both people are older? Or do you think it's fine? Let us know in the comments.
Let us know.
We'll see you again soon.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.